Hi, everybody. It's Courage Tuesday, where I share with you how the courage work shows up in real life. Um, so I say this in all of my events. So I we must remember that we have this very complicated, nuanced, and yet at the exact same time, fairly simple brain. Our brain is wired for safety, comfort. It is wired to keep us safe from the saber-tooth tiger, except we don't have a saber-tooth tiger anymore. Some of you wear your phones on your wrists. We have to-do lists that aren't getting done anymore. We have a news cycle that is nonstop, 24/7, and fairly horrific. We are more connected than ever and more disconnected and lonely, really. All these things on top of just life is our saber-toothed tiger. And the brain just wants to stay safe and comfortable. Emotion is vulnerable to the brain. A lot of what you read threatens the brain on social media, like, right? The division threatens the brain. But then the brain responds in this way of like, let's put people in more boxes and let me make up a story to get you comfortable. And so our brain is also wired for story because it doesn't like to be vulnerable and unsafe. So then it just spins a story based off of pretty not great data, based off of childhood wounds and traumas. And if you're tired and hungry, and it's not usually very generous, and it just makes up stories, and it convinces you of something because it gets comfortable. And so the courage work is doing the work to slow all of this down in a world that really doesn't want you to. In a world that is literally making money off of keeping you busy and sick and small. To slow down the space between trigger and response. There is a sacred space there because things are hard and they're amazing because that's life. And so whether or not I have change happening in my organization that has led me to feel betrayal and question if I can trust, or I'm being asked to do even more with less, or there's something going on really hard with my family, or something's going on with my health, or just the access to all of the world information that we were never actually meant to have. Whatever your saber-toothed tiger is, I want you to remember that like your brain is keeping you safe from it. It's its job. And it does do a great job of it, except it often means that we react in not so awesome ways. And so we end up disconnected. We end up isolating from people. We end up overfunctioning or underfunctioning. We end up numbing away our lives by doom scrolling or drinking or food or shopping or Netflix binging or whatever it might be. We like try to like not feel anything. We lash out. We yell. We become small and stuck. We get sick. Like all of these different things. And the hardest part is that like we have this incredible brain that we can literally think about how we think. We can think about how we feel. We can feel about how we feel. And so what's it look like to make this space bigger from the feeling, the trigger, the thing to how we respond so that we stop reacting from our emotions and instead respond to our lives. And yes, the way we think can influence the way we feel. It actually can change the way we feel, except also like feelings can feel pretty automatic. And so then we can also pull in our thinking to bring in logic to help us move through those feelings in a healthier way. You've heard me say that so many times. You got to name it. You got to talk about it. You got to cope with it in a healthy way. You got to move your body so that those feelings move through you. There's also though, like your beliefs, your identity. Because it's often those deeply rooted things, your values, that get us to feel what we feel in the very first place. And then we start thinking about how we feel. And then we think through the feeling to get through the feeling. But are we actually thinking about and considering the beliefs that got us there in the first place? Our beliefs. Well, here's some beliefs. Your life would probably look very different if your beliefs were, I am enough. I am loved more than I can imagine. I am significant. I am capable. I matter. I am not failing. I am not a failure. I am always learning and growing. I can do this. I will try to do this. I am open. I am peace and joy and love and compassion and empathy. We have to look at all of it. So in the moment, when it's really hard, what can we do to extend the space? From trigger to response. Things like moving your body, deep breathing, shaking it off, calling someone you love and trust, asking for help, reaching out, watching the funny TikTok. These coping skills to make the space bigger, to choose response over reaction. And then where the work really, really comes in is really identifying what your beliefs are. And there's probably many of us that need to reclaim and rewrite those. So it's a long courage teach today. And if you feel like you need some help with that, I have a lot of very accessible ways to do that. The Courage Deck, Courage is Built Here book, the online course, and I have a full training coming up in September. I also have 3 full trainings coming up in 2026. If you can't make the September dates work, the training is almost full in September. So, because this work is also way more fun and embeds way quicker when you do it in community. Thanks for being here.